I'm good. All right, so we're good. So hey, we are getting ready to do our top 10 list. Joe, how you doing tonight?
I'm here, Corey. What's up?
I like the overalls. I mean,
That's right. That's right. It
it,
feels good out
it is
tonight.
it is the
Absolutely.
fall time, So I mean, we are in our overalls, cropping and doing all that good stuff, I guess.
That's
Uh,
right. I also got my
I'm
sweater.
still in the city. I've been out on vacation for a month now. I'm over here, and I'm in China actually. That's why it's daylight here. And no, I'm
Oh,
just.
I see. Well, it's still nighttime here in North Carolina. I've got Skull Quack here with me for the season, so that's
I should have worn my Amish hat. I just got back from the true story. I did just get back from Pennsylvania, Amish country, and I got me a nice Amish hat. I should have wore it on the stream. Maybe I'll wear it next time. So,
okay. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyway, Joe, we're doing our top 10 non-Disney animated movies, and I tell you what, I'm pretty excited about my list. I've got a little nostalgia on it. I've got
I've
some
definitely
new
got some
stuff on
nostalgia.
it, and I think it's going to be. There's a lot of cartoons out there, animated movies that are really good.
There definitely are, and I stayed away from it, and I bet you money that you've got one in here later on that I wanted to put in, but I stayed away from anime. So
Okay. I don't
yeah,
know if
and I
it's anime or not.
I literally, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to write this down on a piece of paper. One movie that I really want to include that I stayed away from, which would be anime, and I guarantee you it's on your top 10. But go ahead.
All right. Are you ready? Let me go ahead and do my number 10.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Okay. My number 10 movie is a fantastic movie. Came out, I think, 2008. Anyway, pretty recently. It's a franchise, but it is continues to be a good one. It's a great story about how anybody can achieve anything, and it's Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, sorry.
Kung Fu Panda. Man, I love this movie. It's got a great cast of characters. Jack Black is obviously Panda. You got Angelina Jolie, Seth Rogen, Lucy Liu. Great stuff. And he is the one, he has this dream. He wants to be a great ninja warrior, but he don't have the body type. He doesn't fit the mold. And yet, through hard work and heart, he accomplishes all these great things. And it's a great movie. It's a great feel-good movie. And it's a funny movie. You get some good laughs out of it. And it's just a great animated movie. I love watching it.
It's a great movie. It's actually on my list and it's higher.
Oh, okay. Well, then you just hold your thoughts on it then, and we'll move right on to your number 10.
I will. All right, so my number 10 is a big favorite of mine, but when I finally went through this list, which was very difficult with nostalgia and different things like that, a lot of my nostalgia rounds out my top five. But in recent years, and this is came out in the last 10 years, but I really, really enjoyed it. It is called Epic. And
Epic. Now, this is a
yep,
movie you told me to go watch, and I will tell you, I went and watched it, but it didn't make my list.
that's fine. That's fine. Did you enjoy it though?
I did. It was a good movie. Me and my
So,
daughter watched it, and she liked it, but it just wasn't top 10 level.
okay, well, I thought it was. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the feel between the the daughter, the father, their mother's left, and then this little ecosystem that's going on in there, and it's a great storyline, and it just really hit home. And I always enjoy watching clips from it and different things. It's kind of a environmentalist movie, which I've got another one on here that beats it, but it reminded me of it, so it was a little bit of nostalgia. But I really did enjoy Epic, so that's my number 10.
I think I know your other environmentalist movie, and it's my number 11, I believe. If I'm right. When we get to it, I'll tell you if that's what
I
I
bet
was.
you
Okay.
it is, and it's up there on the list for me. So
Okay. So that's good. So, Epic, like I said, me and my daughter just watched it. Good movie. Just weren't didn't make my top 10. I had a lot of movies that I had to go through, and that just one didn't make it. So go ahead with your number 9 now.
all right, my number 9, which, like I said, these are so hard for me to rank, and I let nostalgia beat me out for my top five. But these I've been enjoying here lately, and I guess I'm not going to say that for every single one, but this is a franchise, the Hotel Transylvania. Um,
Ooh, this is on my list. Let me just go ahead and tell you, but it's much
I'll,
higher.
I'll go ahead and tell you here, like if I hadn't seen some of these other movies from when I was younger, this would be much higher. But I really love this franchise. The fourth one, I believe, is coming out this week or this month. Finally, it should be coming out here pretty soon. But this is an excellent franchise. and just really cool. It has some great undertones that you don't even know are there that can be applied to real day world. But just this take on Dracula and your other traditional monsters like the Mummy, the Invisible Man, the Werewolf, Frankenstein. It's just really fun. It's a really fun franchise. I have enjoyed it thoroughly.
Disappointing thing about that fourth one though coming out. Adam Sandler's not coming back as Dracula.
I did not know that. Why did you have to tell me that?
It's disappointing. I'm gonna talk about this one later because it's much higher on my list, but great choice.
All
So
right.
my number 9, this is my first nostalgia movie. This is one I used to watch all the time when I was little. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, there's parts of this movie that scared me a little bit growing up, but it still has a special place in my heart because it's All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Woo!
Uh-huh.
Much higher on my list.
Okay. Here's what I think is going to happen on this. I'll get back to the movie in a second. I think you're going to have a lot of nostalgia at the top of your list, where more of mine's going to be some more recent stuff, and that's probably going because I have a daughter and I watch some of the recent ones over and over and over and over, and they're kind of etched in my mind. But these older ones, do what?
I said I've watched all these over and over and over.
Yeah, well, I've watched the recent movies because of my daughter. It's all we. I used to when I used to have free time, I would watch ESPN and Sports Center, and now it's one of these cartoon movies. Anyway, back to All Dogs Go to Heaven. I'll talk my little piece about it, and then I'll save a little bit for later. But great movie. Did have a little scary part in it. Okay, when he goes, yeah, and that cigar. The big cigar that scared me. I was scared of people who smoke cigars for a while because of that. So, but it's just a great movie, great story. I'll talk more about it when you bring it up on your list. So my number 8 right now.
Yes, good.
Okay, another nostalgia movie. Man, you talk about a great movie. This is probably gonna be higher on your list too. If I'm just going by your nostalgia factor, this is probably up there real high on your list. If it's not on your list at all, I'll be very disappointed. It's The Land Before Time. Did you have this on your list?
Oh yeah, it's on there.
Okay, that's what I said. You're going to look. Mine's going to be low end nostalgia, front end newer stuff. Okay.
I'm just going to be reversed. Go ahead and talk though. This is fun.
Do what? Okay. The Land Before Time, another great classic movie. I remember watching it as a kid, over and over and over, and Littlefoot, and going to the Promised Land. I don't remember what they called it, but anyway, it was fantastic. Kind of like The Cruise is now. It's a remake of that. That's what The Cruise is basically, except with people. But Land Before Time, it was the best. And
I did a much different. I do not like the comparison you just made, Cruise to The Land Before Time, except for the time error. I don't see that, but
okay, it's the same thing. What's the difference? Now listen. Let me back up. The Cruise is not on my list. Okay, is not good. What it is it take the same premise of The Land Before Time.
All right, first of all, The Cruise isn't on my top 10, but The Cruise is a good movie, so you can get out of Cruise one hand.
But it's not on my top 10. Okay, it's not in my top 15.
Wow.
But
okay.
The Cruise takes the same premise. Hey, here we are, a family of misfits, and we got to get to the Promised Land. Same thing.
Misfits. They were cavemen. There wasn't anything to compare them to.
Okay, well, they were misfits, though. Okay. Anyway, go ahead with your number 8.
All right, number 8, and this is funny because I just feel like our whole list is going to just be in total reverse, so it's going to be funny. But this is very high for me, and if I could knock out my top 5, this would be up there. But it's How to Train Your Dragon series.
How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, this one's on my list. It's not that much higher than this.
Okay. Well, How to Train Your Dragon is a great. Hiccup, just this troubled guy. Then this whole village is all about killing dragons, and then he discovers that they're not nearly as violent as they believe them out to be. And over the 3 movies you watch this guy, you almost grow up with him. It's really interesting. I almost got some Harry Potter vibes and watching Hiccup grow up and watching Harry grow up. Hiccup wasn't the chosen one or anything, but it was just interesting watching him grow up through the 3 movies. And with Toothless and everything else, it's a great series. I just have a lot of fun watching it. when I have children someday, they'll be watching this movie. So
I'll talk about it in just a few, but it is a great choice. Go ahead with your number 7.
oh wow, you won't even believe this. Ah. Okay, so I've been reading you off my list that I X'd out, but anyways, oh, this is bad. Mm.
Don't be retracting.
No, they're all the same movies. I've just got them in a different order, and I feel really bad now. I've been looking up at my second list. So, gosh, no. All right. Well, anyways, number 7 for me on here. I'm gonna switch back to this because I've only missed 2 that are switched out, and I'll explain that in a second. But number 7 for me on both of them was Kung Fu Panda series. Love it. You've already spoken to Jack Black and everything else, but it gets better with each one, which was really surprising for an animated series. I hope they keep it with 3. I'm sure that they'll probably come out with a 4th one, but everyone introduced a different aspect. It was pretty cool. It paid homage to, China and Asian culture and karate, and just really liked it, the Dragon Warrior, and it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter who you are, you can be picked for greatness. Things happen for a reason is a big part of that. Anyways, Kung Fu Panda was number 7 for me.
Great choice. Great choice. Kung Fu Panda. I love that movie. Can watch it over and over and over and over. I remember most of these movies I can watch over and over. There's one on my list that is really nostalgic. I don't know that I want to watch it anymore. Because I've seen it so many times. Because anyway,
Okay.
when I get to it, we'll know what it is. But it's a great movie. I couldn't leave it off. Okay, so it's my number 7.
Yep.
Okay, I think this right here may be a surprise pick for you. I don't think that you thought about this as an animated movie, but it totally is. Okay, and you may, okay, but it's the Lego Movie.
Yep.
The Lego Movie, recent movie, came out not too long ago. I could have put Lego Batman on here. I didn't. I just went with the Lego Movie. I went with the original because at that time when it came out, it was. I mean, really, when you saw that title, the Lego Movie, what did you think? I mean, you thought like the little Lego cartoons, and it just weren't going to be anything. But the Lego Movie comes out. Got Chris Pratt as your main character. He's just living this ordinary life, but he does something extraordinary. What are you doing with that duck? Anyway, it just turns out to be a great movie about breaking the mold. And then at the end, when the live action comes into the animated, okay, when you find out it's this father who's built this awesome Lego set and he's having to let his kids play with it, and that's what's messing everything up, causing all this stuff. You kind of learn this lesson. Hey, what's the real reason for this? And so it kind of really hit home with me as a parent who is a nerd also, who has Legos and stuff that, sometimes I just have to let my daughter tear stuff up, and then we build it back together. But luckily now she's at the age where she wants to build it right.
Oh, so keep talking. Keep talking. I'm going to grab something.
Okay, he's going to go grab something while I talk about the Lego Movie. But if you hadn't seen the Lego Movie, it's definitely an animated movie. Chris Pratt does a fantastic job in this movie. He's like he realizes something's off. Like we go through the same stuff every day. It's the same routine. He's like, you know what? Something just ain't right. And boom, chaos ensues.
So, well, not funny enough. Ironically enough, I feel like I'd probably include the Lego movies here in my top 10, but I haven't seen them. Big
Oh my gosh.
But I do love Legos. I still build Legos all the time. I was thinking about doing a build tonight. Anyways, I'm a huge fan, so I'm here for it. I'm here for that choice. Anyways, Legos are still fun, y'all. Even at,
a Lego Batman cow right there. See that? That's Lego. It's kind of mess it up.
Well, Corey, I will be coming out. I will be going in and out all night if I'm going to go get all the Legos that I built there. So.
Yeah, me too. Holland has built all of the Harry Potter sets ever made. So,
she needs the city police officer ones because they're fun.
She has a few city ones, but she likes the Friends, the girl ones, and she likes the Harry Potter stuff. And I've got an old table that I'm gonna put like that big mats down and glue it down, and I'm gonna build the Harry Potter village on that table out in my building.
So. That's nice. You need to get her a build growing up, the Star Wars builds were the best.
Yes, I have a few Star Wars builds that we've done, but we do Harry Potter. So Anyway, so that was Lego Movie. If Joe, you need to go watch the Lego Movie. You would really like the Lego Movie. Have
I
you not
think
seen Lego Batman either?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, bro, that's a great Batman movie. Period.
I haven't.
So anyway, you're no, I'm up, right? My number six.
Yes.
All right, my number six is How to Train Your Dragon.
Ah,
How to Train Your Dragon, great movie, great franchise overall. But we're talking about specifically here the first movie. Really, you can talk about the whole franchise. I mean, it's just great, like you said, we grow up with him. But when you met that first movie and you realize, hey, if you just take the time to get to know stuff and really, he knew all the tips and the tricks. He had the snake that the one dragon was scared of, and he knew how to do it because instead of living in fear, he studied it out, and it's just a great lesson. Don't always just judge something by the cover. Get to know it, and then he learned a lot. And then Hiccup, obviously, is just amazing. And Toothless, I have a Batman shirt that has, instead of having Batman on it, has Toothless.
that's pretty awesome.
That's
Nightwing, Night Series.
that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's my number six movie, How to Train Your Dragon. So you're number six.
So two things here. One, I love that we're bringing this up, and it's almost in all of these. But let me just say, without getting too into it or anything, but so many movies today try and force uh, moral or political biases down our throat or what we should be believing. But these animated movies do a great job of just doing um, sending a message of like just more the way like a good moral lesson without being too overtly political or um, religious or anything, swaying it one way or the other where people argue. I mean, most of these movies they do a good job of it subtly with their overtones, and how to most of the ones we've named all have those in there. But anyways, that being said, I will admit this to my fans on here. So I was reading from this list, and I will tell you this right here. I'm going to give you my number six, and then I'm going to tell you why this was actually my number nine and six. I have six and nine switched, and I just
Okay.
so well. Interestingly enough, you're going to like this because my number six I've already talked about, which was How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, and I had that up there. I had that up there above there, but just want to say that it was much higher on my list than where I put it. But my number six off, huh?
Go ahead. I ain't said nothing.
My number six that I was reading off of this actually my number nine on my actual list is the Ice Age franchise, uh,
Okay.
which I still enjoy. I do love this. This is another. I love these. How half of I feel like at least three or four of them are all prehistoric time period movies. But Ice Age was fun with Manny, the sloth. We still see things today with the little prehistoric squirrel that's running
Yeah.
around trying to hide his nut everywhere. It's hilarious. So, but the franchise as a whole, I really enjoyed this movie, and that's my. I mean, one, two, and three. They've done some little spin-offs besides that, but just trying to make it in the world, just trying to make best do with what they have. Yeah, Ice Age.
I say good pick. Not on my top 10, but it is a good pick. I do like the squirrel. Uh,
None of the movies or the franchise are on your top 10.
no, none of them's on my top 10. So
Okay.
I say it's a good pick. Me and Lynn went and saw that one time on a date. We were dating in high school. We went and saw Ice Age.
My
So
Lord, did it come out that long ago? Because you're ancient.
yeah, you think you're funny. Yeah, but we did. So Ice Age, I mean, it was a good movie. Ray Romano. It's just great. Great movie, but not on my list. Your number five. We're going to the top five.
Lord, let me make sure I have this right. Oh Lord, all nostalgia except for one movie. I guess wouldn't really be nostalgia,
I
but
say one is two nostalgia and three pretty new ones.
well, this is definitely nostalgia. And honestly, yeah, it's just so hard to rank these. Like, I feel like all of my five could be like a one. So, but this was near and dear to my heart, and I still love it today. But it's my other environmentalist movie, so I want to ask you: can you guess it? Because you said
Fern Gully.
that's right. It's
Fern Gully. That's my number 11. I wanted to get it on my list. I just couldn't do it. Okay.
uh,
Robin Williams is the bat. Awesome.
yeah. No, my name is Patty. No, this movie, like I was speaking about a minute ago, they get these messages in here without you even knowing it. But basically, it's this. It's about. It's kind of like epic, honestly, about the same
Yeah.
different little storyline. But at the same time, they're clear cutting this forest, and the forest has this little sub eco culture of basically fairies, but at the same time, they have this big bad that's down for the destruction of the environment called Hexus. Very scary when I was younger. But another human shrinks down and gets to join them, show them little human ways. They're riding ladybugs around, and it's just a little bit of magic in there. But Fern Gully was wonderful, and like you said, Batty made it. Batty was just fantastic. So Fern Gully is my number 5.
Great pick. Like I said, it was my number 11. It left off Fern Gully. When I watched Epic, because you told me to, immediately that's where my mind went, is to Fern Gully.
Exactly. So that's probably why Epic's so near and dear to my heart, because it's like a new age Fern Gully. But
yeah, so my mind went there, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, but Fern Gully did it better. That was my thinking. But anyway, great movie. Great choice. Number 5 for me. You ready? Another nostalgia. This is the one that I really don't care that I watch again, but in school I watched it a whole heck of a lot. It was Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web.
Oh my goodness. Oh well, this might be a thing for you. I did not think that in my research. First of all, I didn't think of that, but I thought it was Disney or Pixar.
Is it? Let me double check it.
I'm almost positive it's one of those, but I don't think that. Yeah, please double check. I can't look on my phone right now because we'll hang up the call. But
I'll do it right now. Let's see here.
Please tell me Corey has violated the rules, therefore lost.
Gosh, dog it is Disney. Produced by Disney. That's fine. I'll just move Fern Gully up. I'll just move every one of mine up, and I'll put Fern Gully number 2.
Disqualified. DQ.
You remember when you picked Poltergeist? I let you sub one in, okay?
Wait, no, I didn't get to include it.
Yeah, I know, but we subbed one up. We took your number 11 and put it number 10. We moved everything up. So I'll just move everything up. So Fern Gully will move to my number 10, and then everything else will go up 1.
Well, I want to hear you talk. Well, I'm glad you've messed it up, because I'm going to give you the official list. It's not going to be the way we read it off, because I got it right here. But
okay.
Well, I already told you the mistake I made. But anyways, I want to hear you talk about Fern Gully.
Fern Gully. Okay. So Fern Gully, yes. So my number 10, which anyway. So that makes How to Train My Dragon number 5. Anyway, so my number 10, Fern Gully. Again, if you go back, if this movie didn't have Robin Williams, it probably wouldn't be on my top 10.
What?
But because it has Robin Williams as Batty, and that Batty character was so funny, and it had that like where he would get zapped or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly because it's been a while since I've seen it, but it was good. Yeah. It was a fantastic movie. What a great message. And it's like you said about these messages is you could watch the movie and not really get the message, but as a parent, when you watch it back, you're like, okay, I see how that's subliminally just kind of there. It's not pushed down your throat and that kind of stuff, like some of the stuff today. But that Fern Gully would probably be one of the more that about environmentalists on this list, but it still weren't like so bad that they were clear cut. And I mean, it is pretty bad. So I mean, let's be real here. And so anyway, it's a.
I'm glad to hear you talk about your number 10 here.
Yeah, that's my number 10 at number 5. So I'll give you my number 4 now.
Wait, what? Okay, good.
Okay, my number 4, because you did number 5 first. Number 4 for me is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's your Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yes, okay. That's the one.
I knew it.
Man, I love this movie. I love that we finally get to see Miles Morales as Spider-Man. I love that it had the multiverse in a kid's movie, and in 90 minutes they explain to you what a multiverse is, and kids like me and Holland, we loved it. Okay, she loved it. She understood. She weren't confused. I love the way that it's drawn. I love the music. My Sunflower.
Oh
She's
yes.
never been. Oh man, I mean, I mean, that's great music. And then even I actually preached a sermon on this one time.
Oh,
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I used the clip where he's on the edge of the building and he jumps and he says, "Hello, danger," and he starts taking off for the first time. And I was like, "Hey, you gotta take your step. What's your step? What have you not done?" And so, "Hello, danger." So, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, great stuff, great story. His uncle being the villain, that kind of that little twist in it. Which, if you know the comic books, you knew that. But for those that didn't, I mean, it's just a great story. And here's one other thing I love is that you've seen Spider-Man in so many different ways, and everybody kind of has in their head Doc Ock's a guy, and uh, and then comes out here's Doc Ock as a woman, and then the Scorpion actually looks like a scorpion, and the way they use those characters and stuff, it was just neat. It was just cool, awesome movie.
it was great. I did not include it on this list because I almost considered it. Well, okay, I considered it anime, and I tried to stay away from anime for this list because there's a couple that would have made it. This one and another one would have made, well, several would have made it if I included anime, which I don't know how much of our audience really watches anime. If you do, Corey, we can do a top 10 anime sometime because I
I do
love
not watch anime.
it. Okay, well,
I watch Pokemon.
so you never, okay, so you never watched Dragon Ball Z?
I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. I've watched Pokemon.
This phone call. I'm gonna hang up this phone call.
I've never watched it.
Never
I've
watched,
never seen Attack on Titan or any of that stuff.
never watched Gundam Wing or anything?
Nope.
Captain Bebop? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm
Never
gonna hang up.
watched any of it. I never watched any of the anime stuff. I just never did.
So okay, fair enough. So this movie was great. I didn't make it on my list because I considered it anime, so I didn't include it. But I think this movie is directly responsible for the direction that the MCU is going today into the multiverse. If for that reason you need to watch WandaVision, you need to watch Loki, you need to watch that. It's going to be important if you like Marvel movies, and probably for the next 6 to 8 years. I think that this movie and its success is the exact reason the MCU is going in the direction it's going. So
Yeah, they're coming out with another one too. And it's supposed to be released pretty soon.
I don't know. I don't know the release date. I knew they greenlit another one, but I don't know the release. I need to look into that. I guess it'll be interesting to see how they do in December with Spider-Man: No Way Home. But that movie itself is a direct. I feel like direct sequel off this movie. It's not, but the influence is.
Yeah, I agree. They saw what it did and they said, okay, we can do this too.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you're number 4.
Number 4. I'll make sure I'm reading from the right list. All right, so this is another, just nostalgia movie. Get ready for that with my next couple. But this is the Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant. Not on my
Yep.
list.
Not on your. The Iron Giant didn't make your list, Corey. As old as you are.
I don't think I've ever seen the Iron Giant. If I have seen it, and I think that I may have when I was younger, but I didn't watch it a bunch.
Oh, Corey. So Holland's never seen this either.
No,
What?
never seen
Man,
the Iron Giant. When did the Iron Giant come out?
This needs to be a weekend. I think 99, 98. I'm not sure. You have the capabilities there. I should have wrote it down right here.
1999.
Okay, so I was right. But no, okay, so this is a great movie. Oh man, the fact that you haven't seen it, I don't want to give too much away. Well, anyways, there is this space giant robot, the Iron Giant, that lands, and it's supposed to be a bad robot. Anyways, some stuff goes haywire, and it ends up being somewhat peaceful. And this kid befriends it and teaches it not to be bad, even when its programming or function kind of corrects. And basically, it was sent to destroy Earth, and instead, it's like an offshoot of Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla that ends up being peaceful. And with this kid, you can't really kill it; it regenerates or it comes back together all the time. But it's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie, and it had a timeless message when I was a kid, especially in '99. I was still young then, Corey. I know you were already old and whatever, but
I was about to enter high school at that point.
Yeah, see, I wasn't anywhere near high school, but it was a great movie for me as a kid, and yeah, it's number 4 for me. So
That's probably why I didn't see it, because I was at that eighth grade stage where it was not cool to watch cartoons anymore. You had to watch sports until you got into, that. Anyway, that's why I didn't see it. All right, so you're number 3.
number 3 for me was the Somebody Once Told Me the Way
Oh,
I Ain't the Shot Tool in the Shed. You know what
Shrek.
it is? Yeah, that's
Shrek.
right.
It's on my
The
list, but it's
the
higher.
Shrek franchise. It's higher. Oh, interesting. Anyways, Shrek did a great job as an animated movie, bridging the gap between both a children movie and an adult movie with a timeless soundtrack. Also, I mean, and I'm really speaking to the original. The other two went a little bit far out, still had great soundtracks, but the original was just great. You know, the ogre, Eddie Murphy as the donkey is what made it for me. But talking about onions have layers, and he's like, cakes have layers. Everybody loves cakes. So parfait, and in the morning we were making waffles. Lord Farquaad, what a name! Just the way they tied in all these children tales and made it into some modern day smorgasbord movie that had a great message while still playing true to this. I mean, it bridged the gap. It included popular culture, especially the second and third movies. I mean, it was a big pop culture melting pot too, and I feel like it was the best melting pot out of all these movies on this list. But Shrek, yes.
Shrek. Great choice. Great choice. I'll talk about it in just a moment. My
Okay.
number three. My number 3 is one you've also mentioned already. It's Hotel Transylvania. Okay,
Ah,
because my daughter, for a while there, we watched this movie every day.
is she
Okay,
big
and
Davis?
here's yes, she loved Mavis. Okay, and here's why I have this high on my list, because even though we watched it every day, I really never got tired of it. It was, it was one of those movies it was okay to watch over. I mean, it was real fun and it was cool, and you kind of pick up on stuff that you didn't see the first time, and you catch it on the rewatch, and it's just a awesome spin how the monsters are the ones that are afraid of the humans, and then Johnny comes in there, and oh man, it's just a great movie. Mavis, going, she wanted to go to Hawaii, where where her mother and then went. My daughter talks about that all the time, and it's just cool. And as a father with a daughter, seeing what lengths he goes to try to keep her at home, making that whole village fake and stuff, I'm thinking, yeah, I would probably do the same thing to keep my daughter from going out if I was worried about her. And it just turned out to be something really cool. And then in the end, he likes Johnny as much as she does, I believe. So it's
He
cool.
does. He does. Corey. Well, you know what? Whatever you do in your own parenthood's fine. But this movie reminds me of my uncle, and he might watch this video. But my uncle Charles, man, he's my dad's younger brother. He was this cool guy, man, and he still is. He's funny, young, and everything else. And his only child was his daughter, my cousin Ivy, and I think that I do them both a good service to this, but like Ivy has always been close to them, and she is now married, a successful photographer. And once my grandparents passed, they had an in-law suite on to my uncle Charles's house up in Cary. Well, her and her husband have moved in, and it's basically like my uncle Charles is Dracula, and my cousin is. And if they ever have a child, that's going to be the same way. I'm dead serious. And no offense, Charles and Ivy, if y'all ever watch this, but I think that is a great comparison. I think that y'all would both appreciate it because they make it work. Y'all make it work. And I love you both to death. And don't be upset at me. This is fun.
Hey, I think that's awesome, mate.
Yeah.
Holly can move right in with me, and probably she's
See?
going to marry the church and be a nun, and so, but that's just what it's going to be. But great movie, great movie, great cast. It's Adam Sandler's friends as always. Great cast. One of my favorite characters in that movie is the Invisible Man. Okay, because he's like, oh, I got a girl.
Yeah,
and nobody believes him. It's just a good deal. It's a good deal. And the second one's great when they had the little kid and he carries them out to the vampire camp and you meet Grandpa. I mean, it's the whole franchise. It's just great.
I'm a big fan of 3 actually when they go on the cruise, and I am you could call it the final battle. But anyways, where they are like raise the Kraken with the bad music, and then he's like, we need positive energy, and they literally choose these couple songs, and you have Bob Marley in there, but then the final song that like overthrows or makes the monster wake up and everybody doesn't die and the movie's not bad, but it just gets everybody to a dance party is the Macarena. And I absolutely, it's great.
Yeah, that's good. It was just good, man. Good movie, great movie. Number
Okay,
three.
so hold on. So your favorite was the Invisible Man out of the characters?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. Let me think. Hold on.
Let's say outside of Dracula. Okay.
I would probably say the Invisible Man's probably my favorite.
So I actually like the Wereman. I love him and his wife's back and forth with that.
That is you are right, yeah. And all those kids and how he's give out, that is it's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's funny. He's like, I need you to track this for me. And he's like, this sniffer doesn't need to work anymore. I've changed so many dirty diapers. He's like, I need one of my youngins to do
it. Yeah, that's that's good. That's a good choice. I like just because he the Invisible Man. You don't really know. Does he have a girl or does he not? You don't think he does, but it's just.
I think in the first one he doesn't, but by the third he does.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's a good franchise, good movie. So my number two, okay, this is a throwback. This is a great movie. This is one that you absolutely must see. If you haven't, then you're probably going to hell. It's The Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
Prince. Wait, so I better make sure that ain't Disney either. It's not. It's DreamWorks, right?
It is not. It is not.
Okay. Is this not on your list, Joe?
It is not. And don't you dare guilt me.
Oh, Lord! Get thee behind me, Satan! Okay, so let me tell you why this is on my list. First off, if you haven't seen The Prince of Egypt, it's the story of Moses, okay? And here's why this is on my list. Is because growing up in a Christian home and going to church, every time a Christian movie would come out, cartoon, they would, you had to watch it. And at church, you would watch it. And for years, we suffered through some of the worst stuff that you can imagine. Okay. I don't even remember the titles of stuff. I mean, it was just garbage on a plate. Okay. And then Veggie Tales was after my time. That's your time. Okay. That I was too up. Okay. So Veggie Tales, that came later. That came after this. Okay. But then this fresh breath of fresh air came out, Prince of Egypt, and it was actually good to watch, and it was actually biblically accurate to the most part, okay? And it was cool, and it was like, I can watch this, and it was a success in the blockbuster. And here's what I heard. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that the guy who was responsible for Aladdin and some of the other Disney movies, he wanted a raise or he wanted a promotion, and they wouldn't give it to him, so he went to DreamWorks. And this was his first movie because he was going to get them back, and it turned out to be a huge success.
It was a great movie, so I don't know if that's true, but it was a great movie.
It was a fantastic movie. It's a great movie you can show your kids. And here's the cool thing about this movie compared to let's see. Yeah, compared to all these other movies, it's a real movie. It's based on true events. And there you go. A double whammy for y'all folks. Not only is it cool biblical movie, but it's based on true events. It's awesome. Awesome stuff.
I'm kind of offended, being that my name's Joseph, that you didn't include Joseph in the Coat of Many Colors, but whatever.
Well, you didn't include neither one of them, okay? Get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee. You got 4 about the evolution with dinosaurs and stuff, but you ain't got nothing about Jesus, huh? Okay, go ahead.
The Bible never said dinosaurs weren't real. Get out of here.
I know. I mean, obviously they're real. We see their bones. I mean, where does this come from? Okay.
Exactly. Well, you're the one who just said it.
I said yours was about evolution. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, your number 2. I can't believe you don't have Prince of Egypt on your list. Great day. What a catastrophe. This should be a plague in itself.
Smite me, oh mighty smiter. Please don't, though. Please. Please don't. Bruce Almighty, if y'all never seen a great movie, that's where that line's from. Anyway. Number two, which I am just appalled that this movie was so far down on your list, also has biblical overtones. It's included in it and everything else, but All Dogs Go to Heaven. Number
All
two.
dogs go to heaven.
Yes. Number two. It freaked me out when I was a kid for some parts, but it had a great message. And the older I get, the more I like dogs than people. That's right, audience. Most of you that are watching, I'd rather spend time with dogs than you. Okay, because they're just better. We
Joe
don't.
said that, not me. So I
That's
remember
what I,
that
yeah,
got bucked.
I said it. I'd rather have dogs on this porch than any of y'all. So, anyways, but that being said, great movie. Just timeless message. Charlie, his friend. It's actually got a pretty good sequel to it. If you've never seen it, you need to go watch the second one. But I'm inclined to always include the first. It has a crazy scene with a giant crocodile in the sewers saying, "Let's make music together." That song freaked me out when I was little. And then a terrifying scene where they go to the fiery place that none of us want to go in the afterlife, and just that was scary. But this movie was just wonderful. I loved All Dogs Go to Heaven. It was number two, and that's it. You might as well let me go ahead and talk about my number one, Corey, because you already know what it's going to be.
Oh, The Land Before Time.
That's right.
Land Before. Well, let me just say this about All Dogs Go to Heaven. I probably hadn't seen that movie in 10 years. If I probably had watched it in the last little while, it would probably go up. But
Do you have dogs, Corey?
yes, I do. I have two dogs.
Well, that's shame on you. They should be upset at you for this.
I have two dogs. I have a little, Holland has a little miniature Dachshund, okay, Tootsie. And then I have a Belgian Malinois.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yes,
That
yes.
they're both
Nico.
very
His actual name is official name is Nicodemus, but I call him Nico.
Oh, after the Pharisee?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Nicodemus.
Well, my two dogs I feel inclined to include are my sweet girl Annabelle, and she's had 3 litters, and we kept one of her sons, and his name is Elijah Sawyer, and I love them both to death. I would choose them over you if I had to pick.
I would choose both of my dogs over you. Matter of fact, Tootsie's in the bed right now. She sleeps with me every night.
Very, very good. I would list my dogs over.
Anyway, go ahead and talk about The Land Before Time. Again, I hadn't seen this movie in quite some time, so.
Well, you need to go back and watch it. It is number one for me, and I sat here and struggled with the list. I've got 3 different lists crossed out and different things, but I struggled. But Land Before Time, when I was growing up, was just great. You have, Littlefoot. You have the tree star, the passing of his parents. He makes these friends on these journey. You have, um, the bad dinosaur, Sharptooth, and
Yeah.
Sharptooth was scary when I was growing up. I was like, oh my God, Sharptooth. You have Ducky. Ducky's just this great comedic character in there, but the whole gang in there, along with Littlefoot, and just some sad moments. But The Land Before Time was it. I absolutely loved it. There's some more afterwards. I think I saw the second one, and it was okay, but The Land Before Time was number one for me. All Dogs Go to Heaven was close. I could even put Fern Gully up here because I absolutely I'll go in here and watch Fern Gully right now. I love it. Or any one of these. I love these movies. But that's it.
Here's the sad thing about Land Before Time is in the end all those animals died.
Corey, you know that you're going to die someday, right?
I'm just saying, every one of those went extinct. None of them made it out. Okay, it's a tragedy. Okay,
how terrible.
That's why it ain't higher on my list. All right, so you know what my number one is too, because I told you it would be up higher. It's Shrek.
Oh, that's right.
Shrek's my number one for all the reasons that you said. It was not only a great cartoon, so my daughter Holland, who's 8, can watch the movie and be totally blind to all the little inside adult jokes and enjoy it. But as she grows older, like I am, you see even funnier things. And so what's funny about watching that movie is sometimes she'll be laughing at parts that, are kind of funny. And I'll be laughing at parts that she don't think's funny at all. So we're laughing, both of us are laughing, but at 2 separate times because of our where we are in life. But Donkey, you're right. Eddie Murphy as Donkey, absolute best character. One of the line we use around here around my house is my daughter will say, "A boulder, that's a nice boulder." That's a nice boulder. But it's just, oh man, it's so great. Like you said, the onions thing. Lord Farquaad, when he got off that horse for the first time, he's a little short dude. I mean, if you didn't lose everything, I mean, it was funny.
Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, he was the ultimate bad guy. It was really cool and just a great soundtrack, like you said. Great little throw-ins of old. You had all the old fairy tales making appearances, and the wolf and the grandma's clothes. That one's always funny, and you got them all. Three Blind Mice, and oh man, it's just so many funny things in that movie. I could go on and on and on, and you could watch them. First one's obviously my favorite, but the other ones aren't bad either. I think there's actually four now. I know you said three, but I think there's actually four.
Right, that's probably too many.
And when the second one, when they started having kids, but that first one, there's a magic to that. It's just absolutely. Oh, the Three Little Pigs too, and that. Oh, and I don't know if you've ever been to Universal Studios and rode the Shrek rides, but it is it's like a 40 movie theater and stuff happens, but absolutely awesome, cool stuff. Number one movie, Shrek. If I had to go watch a movie right now on this list, throw it up, I'd probably throw up Shrek.
I disagree there, but I respect the number one opinion. So before we get into our different honorable mentions on here, I think we both had a little bit of issue, and this proves how hard this list was, but I want us both to go back and list from either from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10, our top 10, because mine are different from the way we debated them, but at the same, not much different, and so are yours. You made boo-boo on there.
Yeah, so my number 10 would be Fern Gully, Kung Fu Panda, All Dogs Go to Heaven, The Land Before Time, The Lego Movie, How to Train Your Dragon, Spider-Man, Hotel Transylvania, Prince of Egypt, Shrek. What?
Nothing. I was being funny. I had to shut a door. But okay, so we got your top 10. So my top 10 from 10 to 1 are Epic, Ice Age, Hotel Transylvania, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, Fern Gully, Iron Giant, Shrek, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Land Before Time.
All right, there they are. So let's talk about our honorable mentions right quick before we get off of here. And listen, if you got a movie that we left off and we don't mention in honorable mentions or whatever, make sure you tell us what your favorite non-Disney animated movie is.
Yes.
Couple of them that I had that I wanted to mention. One of them is Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Okay, that's a good one.
Have you seen this movie?
I have, actually.
It is very funny. Even the opening scene when they're fighting the big pink guy and they pop a hole in his butt and he goes, "Oh my God, he's farting." He's like, "No, I'm not. That's just air coming out of my butt." And then this boy says, "That's literally what a fart is." It just set the tone for the whole movie, and it's just a great, funny movie. I really wanted to put it on the list, but I just couldn't do it. Well, you want to give me one, or are you going to give me all of mine? I'll let you.
Go ahead and give me all of yours on this as their honorable mentions.
Okay, Sing, another great movie that I love. Great soundtrack. What? Sing. You don't know Sing? Okay, it's got Matthew McConaughey in it. It's about it's kind of like an animal version of American Idol, and they put on a show and they try out, and it's a funny movie. And it's got real stuff.
With the pigs.
Yes, the pig sings, pig woman.
I've seen clips. It looked fun. I haven't seen the whole movie.
Yes, it's a good movie. Secret Life of Pets, the first one, I liked it. The second one, not so much. But Secret Life of Pets, I like. It was a good one. I like Kevin Hart as the bunny. Over the Hedge. Have you seen that one? Okay, Over the Hedge. Let me tell you, it's a great movie. It is got Bruce Willis as a raccoon, and they live in the woods. And he's kind of a troublemaker. He steals this bear's food that this bear collected for his hibernation while the bear's sleeping. But while he's leaving, the bear has some Spuddies, which are basically like Pringles, and he's holding them in his hand. And he says, "I gotta have those." So his greed gets him, because when he goes for the Spuddy, he accidentally knocks the wagon down, wakes up the bear, and the bear says, "Look, you woke me up early. You got 1 month to get me all my food back." Well, just so happens that a development comes into the city, and they put it, or into the woods, and they put a hedge up. So as all the little fall creatures are coming out of hibernation, they see this hedge, and on the other side of the hedge is this wonderland of food. What RJ the raccoon says. So their plan is to break into a house. They steal all the food out of the house to give back to the bear. And it's just a great story about RJ, who's very selfish at the beginning, realizing to put others before him. Funny movie. Great movie to watch with your kids. Good stuff. Check out Over the Hedge. My last one I'll mention is Trolls.
The last one? There's one that I thought you were going to mention that you haven't, and I didn't have it because I thought you were going to talk about it. Anyways, go ahead with Trolls.
Trolls, again, another good singing movie. My daughter likes to sing. She likes that movie. Again, another Lego movie. You think, Trolls, this is going to suck. And it actually turned out not to be too bad. It was kind of fun. It was a little fun adventure about them going. In the second one, they go a little bit too political for me, and that's when they really start forcing stuff down your throat. But at the beginning, it was more about you just kind of getting along and everybody doing stuff different. And when they go roller skating, it was very good. What are you doing?
I was looking at my list.
Okay. That's my honorable mentions. Go ahead with yours.
So you gave me what, 4?
You can just name them all, just whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
We're just gonna put our top 10 on the web, on the internet. I mean, Facebook. So.
Well, we can leave this. We're gonna leave this part of the recording, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, one that I really have come to love. 1 and 2 were really good, and it made my top 10, and then got kicked out, which you said wasn't worthy of it, which blew my mind. But it was The Croods.
The Croods.
Are you really not a fan of The Croods?
I watched The Croods and liked The Croods, okay, with my daughter, but I wouldn't take any of my top 10 out and replace it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough on that one. I probably wouldn't either. I could replace maybe Ice Age with this, but that being said, I think it's a great movie. I think The Croods is fun. I think you need to go watch it. 1 or 2 people that are still watching.
I think I like 2 better than 1.
I'd agree with you. There.
I like the Bettermans, and that's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty funny. Talk about the man cave and the window TV. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And so, well, then I'll switch it up here because I have a couple to mention. But actually 2 that are nostalgic that I wanted to make the top 10. Balto is one. Balto is a great movie, true story that I watched when I was a kid. So
you could have had a true story on your list, but you didn't.
Oh, did I not?
No, you did not have a true story. I had The Prince of Egypt. You had nothing.
Last time I checked, all dogs do go to heaven. So, true story.
Okay. Here we go.
And for all
I've never seen Balto. What is Balto about?
There was dinosaurs left, or we don't know if Littlefoot was a real person or not. But anyways, or a dinosaur. Anyways, no. Where were we?
Balto. What is Balto? I've never seen it.
Are you kidding me, Corey?
No.
It was it. Go ahead right there. I know you got your computer. It's in the mid 90s, early 90s, I think. I mean, you were still somewhat young then.
95.
Yeah. Same year Jurassic Park came out. I mean, you were somewhat young.
I don't know this movie. It's got 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, I will tell you that.
Well, man, as a kid, it was a great movie, and I'm kind of weird. It's weird that you haven't seen this. I would go watch it. I think you'd enjoy it. Anyway, it's a true story about a sled dog in the early 1900s, and this village had an outbreak of a disease. I can't remember which disease it was, but anyways, the vaccine was very hard to get to. They couldn't fly it in because of heavy snow, so these sled dogs had to go. And Balto was this mutt. He wasn't a true sled dog. Can't remember the different breeds, but anyways, Balto ended up leading the team of sled dogs and getting the medicine to this village that they needed. It's a really good movie, and it's actually a true story. So I can't believe you haven't seen this, Corey. You and
I'll have
Holland
to
need
check it out.
yeah. Yeah, I need to watch that.
What's that? Iron Giant.
I can't believe you haven't seen Iron Giant. Another nostalgia movie is We're Back, 1993. Please tell me you've seen it.
No.
Are you kidding me? The reason it didn't make my top 10, it was in my top 15, was because it's a dinosaur movie, and I had Land Before Time, obviously, is number one. But We're Back is basically these dinosaurs come to life from the Smithsonian, and they were supposed to be these violent creatures, and they're not. And it's got a really good message to it. But We're Back is a fun movie. Another movie that any family should watch. We used to watch it, on Sunday nights or the weekends, and used to have it on VHS, and it came close to making my top 10. We're back. It's called We're Back. Please add that to your list, and please watch it.
We're Back. 38% Rotten Tomato.
Okay, Corey, Rotten Tomatoes just rated Venom and Carnage 66%. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the Marvel
universe. Man, Venom and Carnage was a pretty good movie, okay?
Corey, that movie was garbage.
It was a fun ride. It was a fun ride.